What's kind of the vibe, the atmosphere right now as training camp's getting ready to begin?
I mean, just all of us, getting together here today and, just focus on each and every day, trying to get better and taking it one day at a time, one practice at a time, one walkthrough at a time, and focusing on ourselves. We got a great team and a lot of great players and a lot of great young guys and coaches, and this organization is, the best ever. So just focusing on ourselves and getting better and working to that end goal.
Given how the last couple seasons have ended, is there a different mentality with this team coming into camp, knowing the expectations and the goals?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of maturity within this, within this group, and I think it's a good balance of, having a lot of young guys, but a lot of guys that have been there before, and so I think just having that, it's going to build off each other, and I think it'll end well.
Hey, Mark, between the way last season ended and then the trade rumors that circulated during the spring and summer, how different was this offseason for you, or how similar was it to others?
For me, it's I try not to look at outside the box too often, and focus on the main things, and that's what I've been doing. And at the end of the day, I put my trust in God, first and foremost, and I know that He's gotten me this far. I know the type of player I am, the type of man I am, and all those things. Looking forward, I know they're going to help me grow, get better, be the player that I'm meant to be, and get to that end goal, which I'm incredibly focused on.
I know a week one game at Buffalo might involve like a lot of revisiting of what happened last year, but in a way, is that good for you? You looking forward to week one because it kind of starts the season where last year finished?
It's going to be a great story. I'm excited about that game.
Mark, there's a lot of pundits who are saying, the Ravens might have the best roster in the league, kind of high expectations going into this league, with people looking at all the talent on this team. How do you kind of stack up the talent? How talented do you feel like this year's team is? And how do you handle that outside noise?
Very talented, but there's so many different things that come to play when you're playing football and, this time of year. So for us, it's, again, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's about getting better every day, not being complacent with what you are or who you think you are. We can't be complacent in that area, and continue to grow as a team, stay together, and just work on getting better. And but like you said, we have a very talented team, so it's about growing off that. And yeah.
Mark, it feels like expectations are always high here. Does it feel like they're any different this year, considering the off season, I guess, that you guys had?
I don't know about different. I think there's always the goal, of reaching it to the end, and we've been so close, haven't gotten there, and I think I talked about this again a little earlier. We have got a great mix of guys that have been there before, mature guys that are incredible players, and a lot of young guys that are going to step up and make big time plays. So I just think, again, it's us staying composed, focused on the growth of this team this time of year, and getting to where we want to be week one.
Mark, your 8th training camp, what do you, when you think back 8 years, what's the most important that you've learned since then as far as getting ready to ready to go for the season?
You got to be able to push yourself. This is time to kind of push your limits and find out who you are. Set yourself up for a great season. And there's a lot of things that go into that, but it's taking care of your body, hydrating, and doing all the different things that little things can separate you. But having a mindset of doing right things, being a pro, maybe going to bed early, and so you wake up the next day and you're ready to attack that day.
Between adding D-Hop and all the returners coming back, especially Flowers off a Pro Bowl season, Rashad with a new contract, you and Isaiah likely having good seasons last year. It seems like there's more of so many mouths to feed element to this offense on paper. Do you feel like that's going to require a different mentality from guys who are targets for Lamar in this offense?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's got to be an unselfish group, and that's the type of guys that they bring in here. It's an unselfish group, and that's not to say that guys aren't going to want the rock and to have their yards, have their carries, or have their catches, and I think that's a great thing. I think Coach Monks talks about that a lot, and for us, it's being unselfish, trusting the process, and trusting number 8. He makes incredible reads, incredible decisions, and leads us to victories. So, and when we do that, good things will happen, and about being there for him.
Mark, do you allow yourself to think about your contract? Do you envision hitting free agency next year?
I talked to you about God. You know, you got to trust God, and for me, it's not looking too far ahead. It's living in the moment, being present, and you know, I'm thankful to be here this year, to be able to compete for this organization, compete for this city. It means so much to me, and yeah, I just want people to know that, man. It really means everything to me. So I'm excited about it.
Is your hope to retire as a Raven?
You know, again, you never know what's going to happen. You said earlier, there's a lot of mouths to feed, but incredibly excited for this year to be able to play here, and yeah.
Mark, I think Marlon talked at minicamp about, you know, the grading system the coaches have to do for you guys. Does it feel like you guys have to be even more accountable for kind of everything you do during normal practice, maybe at any point, more than at any point in your previous career, but how it's kind of gone on?
Yeah, I mean, it's the details that matter. It's the details that win games, and so for us, you know, this is start of training camp. So we got to be diligent about doing the little things right, and you know, and carrying those over to make them second nature. So I think, you know, to the point of, you know, having those grading scales, the different things that the coaches are doing, just puts an emphasis on you know, throughout practice or games to make it habit, and that's an awesome thing.
Mark, with Lamar, it seems like every year he keeps, you know, statistically keeps improving. I mean, are we ever going to be getting close to seeing peak Lamar?
Maybe like 10 years from now, I don't know. No, he, like you said, he really does find, it's just every year he finds a new way to get better and better, and it's almost like the game is just continually slowed down for him, and he's already such a, you know, fast, dynamic player, and his playmaking, his the way he reads the game, he's just getting more and more comfortable, and I love the way that he's, you know, just going about his business, and it continues to you know, kind of move that bar higher and higher, which is already incredible.
Mark, Lamar, when you last talked, I think it was at the Mandatory Minicamp, kind of talked about you and the importance of you in this organization, and, you know, some of the criticism you took and defended you amid that. I know how close you are with him, but when you hear that, and, you know, I don't know if you saw the quotes, does that really resonate with you?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, I know that, you know, Lamar has my back, you know, and he knows I'm there for him. It's a special connection, and you know, it definitely means a lot for him to come out and say those things, and you know, I trusted him and wholeheartedly, and you know, that's my guy forever.
Mark, how has it been kind of adjusting to where it was early in your career, where you were kind of the guy, one of the only guys? It seemed like Lamar had a lot of trust into it. Now it's a bunch of other ones, including yourself.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, and I talked about this again earlier, but it's Monk, you know, talks about, you know, just being able to you know, be dynamic, be diverse, and switch it up. You know, you don't ever want to have to rely on one person, and so we got so many different guys that are so good at what they do. It's really a beautiful thing. So we can, you know, take this time to get better, grow, be unselfish, and as an offense, you know, just keep on pushing forward, and yeah, I think that's a good thing.
All good?
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.